our story begins in 2011, where I was somewhere around 24, 25. And we had age in our side, and we were extremely passionate towards the arts. I always wanted to probably satisfy my creative itch by doing something in the field of arts, fashion, interiors, photography. I've dabbled into multiple foray, but for me, my first love came back to fashion. For me, it was extremely important for a storytelling. And since day one till today, all our iconic collections have come from a very strong emotional point of view. This every collection stands for emotion attached to it, and that is what I think has resonated our brand to audience because people felt connected to our storytelling skills. Now about LFW, it was just a sudden decision. This whole brand of ours is very strongly on intuition. And when in 2011 we applied under the Gen Next category, we were unsure. I don't have a formal training in fashion. It was an absolute hot blood young decision to do something rebellious and something unexpected from what the society would expect a guy to do. And that's when we applied for Fashion Week under the Gen Next category. To our surprise and shock, there were 800 global applicants who applied for that season. And out of 800 global applicants, only 8 were selected, and we were one of them. That is what took off the career graph. And since then till today, we are finishing and celebrating our 15th year this year in fashion. And we are extremely proud of what we've achieved, our journey, our narration, and what we have put out from our brand. For us, what is most important is not the paychecks or the sales. For us, is the connection with our audience, our community, and that's what I think we have somewhere achieved beautifully. With this storytelling, obviously Bollywood opened up its arms and they welcomed us with a lot of appreciation. Also, back then, when we were known to be the red carpet designers, we tried to push the boundary, do a little bit of different things, take the risk. That's what I think people appreciated. Celebrities gravitated towards fashion critiques and fashion platforms appreciated because we came with a modern point of view, and that's something which actually made us realize that this amalgamation of fashion and Bollywood is a marriage made in heaven. Well, we have always known to do something unexpected. Our brand is always perceived to take a classic silhouette and give it a modern twist, and that's exactly what this look is. It's a classic bangala with a modern twist. We have added a drape on the side to make it look even more appealing, something very new out of the box. Otherwise, the whole ensemble is extremely classic. And this is from our latest collection called Naia, which is actually an ode to modern Indian couture wear. And we wanted our muse to be someone very modern, very new age, someone who's not afraid, a man, an anti-man basically. And that's when Vijay Varma happened, and we are extremely grateful because we could not have asked a better debut. Vijay Varma is actually breaking the classic norms. He's very experimental with his personal style, especially the red carpets. He loves to take that extra risk, which a lot of other male celebrities are not there yet, or they are very afraid to take that plunge. Like even if this particular look you see, he's wearing an Amrapali ear cuff, which is so unique and so modern. To see a man donning something like this. So that's why we thought Vijay Varma is the right person to debut our collection because we somewhere are known to be rule breakers, and he definitely endorses that for sure. Black is the color of my life. I love black. I think there is nothing more beautiful, sensual, comforting, and gives the person the confidence as a color black. From our label, we generally tend to stay away from busy prints or extremely heavy embroidery because we always want the wearer or the consumer to express their own personality with our clothes. So if you see our clothes, it's more structure, more cut driven versus embellished and embroidery, because then that restricts the audience to keep repeating the value. Hence, we always say our clothes are modern heirloom, which can be bought today but still relevant 5, 10 years down the line. And a color black just embraces the feeling of comfort, which something which we all love. And if you can see me 24/7 in black, I'm that comfortable. So yes, I very proud to say I'm a colorblind designer, but color black is something which is beautiful. So Bhumi and I know each other before we started our individual careers, before I decided to get into designing and before she decided to get into acting. We were friends since back then. So our relationship is extremely very personal. We are extremely close. We have seen each other grow from day one till where we are today. We have cried, we have wept. I used to be her butter chicken date when she used to put on weight for her first film. So we have a very core connection. So for Bhumi, this workshop is like her second home. And we always prioritize our friends. We always love to work with people who support us and we love to support them. So when a project like the Royals came to our table, it was a non-negotiable term that we are definitely going to be a part of it, and we were so glad to see that our look, which is a classic red sheath dress, being so well received. It was all over the country. There were posters all over. We had a lot of inquiries. We've almost sold 30 pieces of this particular look. So definitely Bhumi is a great muse to our brand and a very close friend. So it's like a great pair to work with. This particular Shilpa Shetty Midnight Blue Pant Sari is a conceptual piece from our fusion collection called Gleam. We wanted to, as we said, we always like to keep experimenting, and there's nothing more sensual, nothing more Indian, nothing more grounded as a sari. So as a designer, it's our job to keep reinventing. It's not only us. Globally, designers have taken this humble silhouette and given it their own twist and their own definition. And this is our version. We are extremely blessed to work with all the A-listers from Bollywood. And Shilpa Shetty has been our #1 muse since many years. We have given her at least 20-25 looks till now. And all of them translate into this iconic silhouette because she herself is such a great personality. This particular sari, we have sold 800 pieces till date, and we are extremely elated and glad that we could have this opportunity. Personal setbacks are always unexpected. You don't know what's going to come your way. With me, it was my family had to take the priority over my work. Being the son of the family, I had a lot of responsibilities, and I knew that talent and creativity doesn't have a deadline. So I had to prioritize on what was important. This again comes back to my family. The fact that a rebellion was always a part of my family has helped me develop this ideological woman in my head who I aspire and is my eternal muse. International markets has always been our top priority because since the time we debuted, we were always termed and spoken of to be a rule breaker, someone who is more innovative, someone who is not scared to express themselves, someone who is not worried about will it sell or will it not. It's about a point of view, it's about a narration, and definitely we personally think that we deserve to be gone international by now. If we didn't have the personal setback, I think the story would have been very different. We would have been sitting and talking about our international debut. But we had to be practical, we had to be very honest and very open about the fact that everything has its own time. And I think now is the time for us to grow. How do we take India globally? And I think it's time where Indian young talent from India needs to be appreciated because they are the ones who will take the risk. They are the ones who will try to do something rebellious, something which could be an absolute iconic moment. And that's what we are aiming for. Don't be influenced, be inspired. That is something which I have always followed. And I would strongly suggest the younger generation to find your own voice. Take your time. There is no rush. We are not in a time race at all. But when you put a product out, you should stand by it. You should be sure, you should be assured that what you're putting out is worth putting out, because that's what creates a legacy. We love to work with Bollywood because it just, the relationship is a give and take. At the age of 24, you are not that formed. You know, you're driven with an adrenaline rush. You're driven with how we can make a difference or make a name. And over the years, we've realized slow and steady wins the race. I had to let go and I had to not the word compromise, but I had to evolve and grow up overnight, because with the growth of the brand, the pressure also grows. Pressure for delivering, pressure for creating, pressure to innovate. So all of this came together, and that's when I think the Nikkhil Thammpi brand was formed. It did take its sweet time, and we realized for us, pace is our hero. We rather do projects and collections at our gradual pace than just unnecessarily producing 7 collections a year and just creating a lot of chaos. I'm so glad you said that, because I consider myself a very boring dresser. You can see me in a V-neck t-shirt and indigo jeans round the year. But there are certain times when you want to spruce it up and create something very fun. This is actually, I'm an avid online shopper. So you will see me in a mix of high street and high-end designer wear. Like, if I have to break down my look, which I've never done before, so please bear with me. I'm wearing a Boulogne Paris sunglasses, which is extremely rare, and it's a vintage find, and I had to hunt for it a lot. But this is sunglass, something which I'm extremely obsessed with. I have this beautiful Hublot watch, which was gifted to me by my granddad. So this has a very sentimental value. So this is on my wrist round the year, because I can't tend to part away with this. When it comes to my shirt, I'm generally so colorblind. So for me to wear something geometric and print driven is extremely challenging, but my team has drilled this in my head that I have to be more experimental with myself. So here is my take of a online shopping, just a colorful thing, but still sticking to my personality. It's more brown tones, black tones, more neutral jewel colors, which suits our personality and our brand really well. And I'm wearing Prada trousers and Prada shoes. So that's my OOTD for the day. Women have played a very pivotal role in my growth as a human being and as a designer. I've been blessed to be surrounded by some wonderful women who have actually shaped me into who I am. And anyone who's inclined to fashion, somewhere or the other, is inspired by their surroundings. And for me, that was my family. My mom, my grandmom, my sisters, my aunts have always been a quiet rebellion. Seeing them don their personality and stand up for their values over what societal expectations are, that is something which has created this brand of rebellion, where the juxtaposition is so beautiful of tradition yet rebellion, soft with boldness. It all comes together with these wonderful elements that I've grown up with. My grandmom was an absolute badass. She had hair down till her knee. She was so rooted in her tradition, yet extremely modern, evolved mindset. My mom comes from that teaching, so she has been always very open minded, very evolved. That's gone down in generation to my sister. So I've always been surrounded by very strong personalities, and that's when you see translating into my clothes. Our clothes are extremely personality driven. It definitely is more towards the quiet luxury where we don't have to say a lot to prove a lot. It's actually not that very heavy. So this is actually a hero piece from our latest collection called Naia. We wanted to create a modern armor which actually resonates with Indian heritage, Indian culture, and what better than Kundan stones to depict that. But we wanted to create and take this element and make it very modern, especially for our modern clientele who wants to spend their money in something which is investment purpose. So I know something like this is going to be eternal, And you can wear this in so many different ways. It depends on the personality of the consumer. You can team this up with trousers, you can team this up with a blazer. We have teamed it up with a classic sari. So this is where we are at. We always do things that has a chameleon factor to it, that can take and adapt to a person's personal style. And this is how it is. It looks heavy, but it's so easy to wear. It's so lightweight and it's properly balanced. This is almost like a mathematic equation. So that's what we were, and we are very proud of this. We call this our hero piece of the collection, and we are extremely protective about this particular piece. So that's where this piece came from. And we wanted to keep this extremely focused on the blouse, hence the sari is so simple, because we always like to play the balance between iconic, eye-catching silhouettes, but still keeping the remaining as well. So much of fashion, but still very subtle to give the whole attention to the blouse. Well, yes, I this particular collection, Naia, as I said, we whenever we have done a collection, it's always come from a very strong emotional background. It has come from a point of view which has actually made me pause, reflect, understand what's happening, and then come up with a collection. And Naya is no different. Naya is a collection we are doing after almost 7 to 8 years, which is at this grander scale. That's because I had to take a back seat because of family constraints, and that pause made me realize who I am, made me grow into a much more evolved, mature designer. That's when the whole collection, you see, that's why we say it's a reinvention of the brand, because this collection shows what the next 10 years or 15 years is going to come from our brand. So in a way, this is a soft launch to something even bigger coming in future. Well, the 2.0 is something which is extremely personal. It's like all our collections have been a personal journey. We have always come up with a grand collection with a particular emotion attached to us. With this collection, we wanted to show the evolution of our brand. We wanted to show the global approach, the global reach. While we are known to be a Western wear designer, we wanted to do an Indian wear range which is going to be resonated globally. And that's why this collection is evolved. It's the 2.0 in a version where we are showing how mature our design has become, our journey till date. And Naya is the perfect manifestation of that thought process. This particular collection, as you said, has hints of the past, but with a bright future. That is where our journey is. We are extremely proud of our body of work. So definitely you will see silhouettes or elements which has been seen in the past, but in a very modern, new take to everything. Naya is a amalgamation of a fusion wear, where we have conceptual saris, we have draped skirts, we have voluminous lehengas, we've got sherwanis for men, we've got kurtas. So we wanted with this collection to bridge the gap between art and commerce. While we talk about color story, we wanted to show an entire journey from day to night. So we start with the beautiful whites, we go into the dusty pinks, we go into this fiery rust orange, we go into this beautiful cocoa brown, and at the end we go to my favorite, the black segment. So we have your sangeets, your receptions, your pool parties, your outdoor events. That's where Naya fits the best. And that's why the colors, we have kept it so modern, so unique, which complements every Indian skin tone and can be worn from day to night without any problem.